Duluth, Minnesota, from industrial powerhouse to Great Lakes gem. Picture this. You're standing on a bluff overlooking the largest freshwater lake in the world, watching massive freighters glide through waters so blue they rival the Caribbean. Behind you rises a city that once hosted more millionaires per capita than anywhere else in America, built on iron, ore, timber, and the grit of immigrants who turned a remote wilderness into an industrial powerhouse. This is Duluth, Minnesota, where the American dream was forged in the fires of blast furnaces and tempered by the cold winds of Lake Superior. But here's what makes Duluth's story so compelling. This wasn't just another.
This shirt I'm wearing, it stands for something real. It's for those who remember America's proud days, built on hard work, unity, and respect for the flag. We've got styles for men, women, and even the kids. Great quality, timeless spirit. Just point your camera at the QR code and wear what America stands for.
Another boom and bust mining town. When the iron ran low and the mills went quiet, instead of becoming another Rust Belt casualty, Duluth reinvented itself as one of the most livable cities in the Midwest. How did a place that once choked on industrial smoke transform into a haven for outdoor enthusiasts, artists, and young professionals? The answer lies in the character of its people and a natural beauty that no amount of industry could diminish. If you're fascinated by American stories of transformation, resilience, and the power of community to reshape destiny, then you absolutely need to subscribe to Town Tales right now. Hit that like button. Share this with anyone who loves authentic American stories. And let's dive into the remarkable tale of how Duluth, Minnesota, became the crown jewel of the Great Lakes region. Our story begins in 1679 when French explorer Daniel Greysolon, Sieur du Lut, arrived at the westernmost point of Lake Superior. He was searching for the Northwest Passage, that mythical water route to Asia, but instead found something perhaps more valuable, a natural harbor protected by a long sandbar that would one day become the key to unlocking the mineral wealth of northern Minnesota. The Ojibwe people had called this place home for centuries, and they called it Onigamiansing, meaning at the Little Portage. They understood what the French explorer was just beginning to grasp. This was a crossroads, a place where waters met and destinies were decided. For nearly 2 centuries, Duluth remained a remote trading post, a place where voyagers and Native Americans exchanged furs, stories, and cultures. But everything changed in the 1850s when surveyors discovered iron ore in the Mesabi Range, just 60 miles northwest of the Big Lake. Suddenly, this sleepy outpost found itself at the center of what would become the greatest mineral extraction operation in American history. The problem was getting that ore to the steel mills of Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Chicago. The solution would reshape not just Duluth, but the entire industrial landscape of America. Enter Jay Cooke, the financier who had helped fund the Civil War, and his ambitious plan to build the Northern Pacific Railway with Duluth as its eastern terminus. Cooke envisioned Duluth as the zenith city of the unsalted seas, a grand metropolis that would rival Chicago. In 1869, he began pouring money into the town, building elegant hotels, grand mansions, and the infrastructure needed to handle the coming boom. When the railroad finally connected Duluth to the Iron Ranges in 1884, the transformation was immediate and dramatic. Within a decade, Duluth went from a frontier town of a few thousand to a booming city of nearly 80,000. The harbor filled with ships from around the world, loading iron or pellets bound for steel mills. Lumber barons built palatial homes along the ridge overlooking the lake, while immigrant families from Scandinavia, Germany, and Eastern Europe crowded into neighborhoods near the docks and mills. By 1900, Duluth was shipping more tonnage than New York City, and per capita, it had more millionaires than anywhere else in America. But it wasn't just the wealthy who found prosperity in Duluth. Take the Mattsson family, Swedish immigrants who arrived in 1895 with nothing but the clothes on their backs and a fierce determination to build a better life. Eric Mattsson found work at the steel plant, while his wife Anna took in laundry. Every morning at dawn, Eric would walk down the steep hills to the industrial waterfront, spending his days in the roar and heat of the blast furnaces. But every evening, he'd climb back up to their modest home on the hillside, where Anna would have dinner waiting, and their 3 children would gather around the kitchen table to hear stories of the old country and dream of their American future. The Mattsons saved every penny they could, and by 1905, they had enough to buy a small house with a view of the lake. On summer evenings, the whole family would sit on their front porch, porch, watching the oar boats navigate the harbor, while Eric played his accordion and Anna tended her garden of Swedish turnips and potatoes. Their youngest daughter, Astrid, would later become Duluth's first female city council member. But back then, she was just a girl who fell asleep to the sound of foghorns and train whistles, lullabies of a city that never slept. The early 1900s were Duluth's golden age. The city built grand civic structures like the Duluth Armory and a magnificent Central High School, perched dramatically on the hillside, like a castle overlooking the kingdom below. The entertainment district along Superior Street rivaled anything in Minneapolis or Chicago, with ornate theaters, elegant restaurants, and the famous Duluth Curling Club, where Scandinavian immigrants introduced their beloved sport to America. But perhaps nothing captured the spirit of early Duluth like the aerial lift bridge completed in 1905. This engineering marvel, one of only a few of its kind in the world, could lift an entire section of roadway 135 feet into the air to allow ships to pass through the canal. It became Duluth's symbol, a testament to human ingenuity and the city's role as the gateway between the Great Lakes and the American interior. The culinary scene has exploded in recent years, with chef-driven restaurants earning recognition from national food publications. The farm-to-table movement has strong roots in Duluth, where restaurants partner with local producers to showcase regional ingredients like wild rice, maple syrup, and seasonal vegetables grown in the short but intense northern growing season. The city's proximity to both agricultural areas and wilderness provides chefs with unique ingredients that create a distinctive northern Minnesota cuisine. Local food traditions continue to evolve while honoring their immigrant origins. The pasty, originally brought by Cornish miners, has been adapted by successive waves of immigrants to include fillings that reflect different cultural backgrounds. Finnish-style fish preparations remain popular, especially during the spring smelt runs when families gather along the lakeshore to net the silvery fish that have sustained communities for generations. German-influenced beer gardens have made a comeback, with several breweries creating outdoor spaces where patrons can enjoy locally brewed beer while overlooking the lake. The farmers market has become more than just a place to buy groceries. It's a weekly community gathering that brings together urban and rural residents, longtime families and newcomers, artists and professionals. Vendors sell everything from traditional Scandinavian pastries to innovative fusion foods that reflect Duluth's growing diversity. The market also features local artisans, musicians, and community organizations, creating a festive atmosphere that celebrates both commerce and culture. Educational opportunities extend far beyond formal institutions. The Great Lakes Aquarium provides hands-on learning about freshwater ecosystems, while the Lake Superior Zoo focuses on animals from cold climates around the world. The Duluth Children's Museum engages young minds with interactive exhibits that celebrate both scientific discovery and regional history. These institutions work together with schools and community organizations to ensure that learning opportunities are accessible to all residents regardless of economic circumstances. The city's educational institutions grew along with its population. The Duluth Normal School, founded in 1895, trained teachers for the expanding frontier, while the University of Minnesota Duluth campus, established in 1947, brought higher education and research to the region. These institutions didn't just serve students. They became centers of culture and innovation that would prove crucial when Duluth needed to reinvent itself decades later. The Nordic skiing culture in Duluth is particularly strong, with multiple ski clubs and training facilities that have produced national and international competitors. The city's trail systems, maintained by volunteers and city crews, offer everything from gentle loops suitable for families to challenging terrain that tests elite athletes. The annual City of Lakes Loppet brings thousands of cross-country skiers to the region, while the Duluth Traverse connects the city to the North Shore Trail system, allowing adventurous skiers to travel from urban neighborhoods to wilderness areas without leaving the snow. Hockey remains deeply embedded in Duluth's cultural identity, with the University of Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs consistently ranking among the top college hockey programs in the nation. The team has won multiple NCAA championships, and their games at Amsoil Arena create an electric atmosphere that brings together students, alumni, and longtime residents in shared passion for the sport. Youth hockey programs throughout the city provide opportunities for children to learn the game while building character and community connections. Many former Bulldog players have gone on to successful NHL careers, maintaining connections to their hometown that strengthened Duluth's reputation as a hockey hotbed. The influence of Scandinavian culture extends far beyond food and winter sports into the realm of design and craftsmanship. Local artisans continue traditions of woodworking, metalwork, and textile arts that their ancestors brought from Norway, Sweden, and Finland. The American-Swedish Institute's traveling exhibitions regularly feature Duluth artists, while the city's craft fairs showcase everything from hand-forged ironwork to traditional Scandinavian rosemalling painted on contemporary furniture. This attention to craftsmanship and functional beauty influences everything from residential architecture to public art installations. Duluth's music scene reflects both its working-class roots and its evolving cultural sophistication. The legendary Duluth Entertainment Convention Center hosts major touring acts, while smaller venues like the North Shore Theater provide intimate settings for emerging artists and tribute bands. The city has produced an impressive array of musicians who have achieved national recognition while maintaining strong connections to their hometown. The annual Homegrown Music Festival, started in 1999, has become a regional institution that showcases local talent while attracting music lovers from throughout the upper Midwest. But the good times couldn't last forever. The stock market crash of 1929 hit Duluth particularly hard because its economy was so dependent on heavy industry. Ore shipments plummeted, mills closed, and unemployment soared. The Matson family, like thousands of others, watched their savings disappear and their dreams of prosperity fade. Eric lost his job at the steel plant and spent months looking for work, any work to keep his family fed. They took in boarders, sold Anna's jewelry, and survived on government cheese and the vegetables from their garden. World War II brought temporary relief as the demand for steel and ships revived Duluth's industrial base. But the post-war era presented new challenges. Foreign competition, particularly from Japan and Germany, began undercutting American steel production. The opening of the St. Lawrence Seaway in 1959 allowed ships to bypass Duluth entirely, taking much of the port traffic directly to cities like Chicago and Detroit. By the 1970s, many of the grand mansions on the hillside stood empty, their windows boarded up like blind eyes staring out over a lake that no longer brought prosperity. The 1980s were particularly brutal. The steel industry collapsed, taking thousands of jobs with it. Young people fled to Minneapolis, Chicago, and beyond, seeking opportunities that no longer existed in their hometown. Downtown Superior Street, once the vibrant heart of the city, became a strip of empty storefronts and abandoned buildings. Local newspapers ran headlines about the death of Duluth, and many residents wondered if their city had any future at all. But Duluthians are a resilient people, shaped by harsh winters and harder times. Instead of giving up, they began to look around and see their city with fresh eyes. What they discovered was something remarkable. While other cities had industrial wastelands, Duluth had a pristine lakefront. While other places had urban sprawl, Duluth had maintained its compact, walkable downtown and its distinctive hillside neighborhoods. While other communities had lost their character to chain stores and suburban malls, Duluth had preserved its historic architecture and unique culture. The transformation began slowly in the 1990s with grassroots efforts to revitalize downtown and develop the waterfront for recreation rather than industry. The conversion of the old ore docks into the Duluth Entertainment Convention Center was an early success, followed by the development of Canal Park as a tourist destination. Local entrepreneurs began opening breweries, restaurants, and shops that celebrated Duluth's industrial heritage, while appealing to visitors drawn by the natural beauty of Lake Superior. One of the most successful reinvention stories was Ficker's Brewery, the German brewery that had operated since 1881 but closed during the economic downturn. Instead of demolishing the historic buildings, developers converted the complex into a shopping and entertainment destination, complete with a boutique hotel, restaurants, and shops. The renovated Ficker's became a model for adaptive reuse that preserved Duluth's architectural heritage while creating new economic opportunities. The city's location, once valued primarily for shipping ore, became its greatest asset in the new economy. Duluth sits at the confluence of multiple ecosystems: the boreal forest, the Great Lakes, and the beginning of the Great Plains. This unique position makes it a paradise for outdoor enthusiasts. Superior Hiking Trail, which runs runs along the lake's north shore, attracts hikers from around the world. The lake itself offers some of the best freshwater sailing in North America, while the surrounding forests provide world-class cross-country skiing, mountain biking, and hunting. Let me tell you about Sarah Chun, a software developer who moved to Duluth from San Francisco in 2010. She had grown tired of the high cost of living in traffic congestion in the Bay Area, but she needed a place where she could continue her tech career. Duluth's combination of affordable housing, natural beauty, and growing tech sector made it an ideal choice. Sarah bought a renovated historic home on the hillside for less than she had been paying in rent in California. Her morning commute now involves a 5-minute walk downhill to a converted warehouse where her company develops software for the shipping industry, giving her afternoons free to explore the hiking trails or paddle her kayak along the rocky shoreline. Sarah's story illustrates a broader trend that has transformed Duluth over the past 2 decades. The city has successfully attracted young professionals, artists, and entrepreneurs who are drawn by the quality of life rather than traditional job opportunities. These newcomers have brought fresh energy and new ideas while respecting the community's working-class roots and industrial heritage. The food scene has evolved dramatically as well. While you can still find traditional Finnish pasties and Swedish pancakes, you'll also discover innovative restaurants that showcase local ingredients like wild rice, Lake Superior fish, and foraged mushrooms. The craft beer industry has exploded, with breweries like Bent Paddle and Castle Danger creating distinctive beers that reflect the local terroir. The Duluth Farmers Market has become a regional destination, connecting urban consumers with rural producers throughout northern Minnesota and northwestern Wisconsin. Cultural institutions have also flourished during Duluth's Renaissance. The Duluth Playhouse has expanded its programming, while the Tweed Museum of Art at UMD has gained national recognition for its collections and exhibitions. The city's music scene is particularly vibrant, producing nationally recognized artists like Low, Trampled by Turtles, and Galen Leah, who won NPR's Tiny Desk Contest in 2016. Education remains a cornerstone of Duluth's identity and future. The University of Minnesota Duluth has grown into a major research institution, particularly known for its medical school and environmental programs. The Lake Superior College provides vocational training that connects directly to local job opportunities. The public school system, while facing the same challenges as districts everywhere, has maintained a strong reputation and continues to produce graduates who contribute to the community's vitality. Healthcare infrastructure in Duluth serves not only the city, but the entire region, with Essentia Health and St. Luke's Hospital providing specialized services that draw patients from across northern Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan's Upper Peninsula. The University of Minnesota Medical School Duluth campus trains physicians specifically for rural and underserved communities, addressing the healthcare challenges faced by small towns throughout the region. Mental health services have expanded significantly, recognizing that the isolation and harsh winters of northern climates can create unique psychological challenges that require specialized treatment approaches. The city's commitment to public health extends beyond traditional medical care to include innovative programs that address social determinants of health. Community gardens provide fresh food access in neighborhoods that might otherwise be food deserts, while also creating opportunities for neighbors to work together and share knowledge. The extensive trail system encourages physical activity, while programs that provide free or low-cost access to recreational facilities ensure that economic barriers don't prevent residents from maintaining active lifestyles. Substance abuse treatment and prevention programs reflect the community's understanding that addiction affects families across all economic and social lines. The city has invested in treatment facilities, support groups, and prevention programs that address both alcohol and drug abuse with compassion and evidence-based approaches. These efforts recognize that the economic disruption and social isolation that accompanied industrial decline created conditions that made some residents vulnerable to addiction, while also acknowledging that recovery requires comprehensive support that goes beyond individual treatment. The aging population presents both challenges and opportunities for Duluth's future development. Many retirees are choosing to remain in the community rather than moving to warmer climates, appreciating the cultural amenities, healthcare access, and strong social connections they've built over decades. This creates demand for age-friendly housing, transportation options, and services, while also providing a resource of experienced volunteers and mentors who contribute to community organizations and civic engagement. The city's approach to environmental stewardship has become a model for other Great Lakes communities. Duluth has cleaned up decades of industrial pollution while preserving green spaces and promoting sustainable development. The restoration of the St. Louis River estuary has created habitat for fish and wildlife while providing recreational opportunities for residents and visitors. Solar and wind energy projects have reduced the city's carbon footprint while creating new jobs in the clean energy sector. Climate change presents both challenges and opportunities for Duluth. Rising temperatures could extend the shipping season and reduce heating costs, but they also threaten the winter sports industry that has become crucial to the local economy. The city has taken a proactive approach, developing climate adaptation plans and investing in renewable energy infrastructure. Labor history runs deep in Duluth's DNA, and that legacy continues to influence the city's character today. The International Workers of the World, known as the Wobblies, organized some of their most successful campaigns among Duluth's dock workers and loggers in the early 1900s. The 1916 steel strike that shut down production for 3 months demonstrated the power of organized labor and established precedents for worker rights that influenced labor relations throughout the region. Today's Duluth maintains strong union representation in both public and private sectors, contributing to wages that are above average for the region and working conditions that prioritize safety and dignity. The city's commitment to preserving its labor heritage is evident in the Lake Superior Railroad Museum, which not only displays historic locomotives, but also tells the stories of the workers who built and operated the railroads that made Duluth's prosperity possible. The museum's collection includes personal artifacts, photographs, and oral histories that bring to life the experiences of engineers, conductors, and maintenance workers who kept the trains running through harsh winters and dangerous conditions. Environmental justice has become an increasingly important issue as Duluth addresses the legacy of industrial pollution while ensuring that cleanup and redevelopment benefits all residents. The Spirit Valley neighborhood, historically home to many working-class families and communities of color, suffered from decades of industrial contamination, but has seen significant investment in environmental remediation and affordable housing development. Community activists have ensured that residents have a voice in planning processes and that new development includes commitments to local hiring and affordable housing preservation. Transportation infrastructure continues to evolve to meet changing needs while honoring the city's commitment to sustainability and accessibility. The Duluth Transit Authority provides public transportation throughout the city and to surrounding communities, with routes designed to connect residential neighborhoods to employment centers and recreational facilities. The city has invested heavily in bike lanes and pedestrian infrastructure, recognizing that many residents prefer alternative transportation options that support both personal health and environmental goals. The Lake Walk, a paved trail that runs along the shoreline for several miles, serves both recreational and transportation functions, allowing residents to walk or bike from downtown to residential neighborhoods while enjoying spectacular lake views. The winters in Duluth are legendary, and they've shaped both the character of the people and the culture of the city. Average temperatures in January hover around 9 degrees Fahrenheit, with Lake Superior creating a microclimate that can dump several feet of snow in a matter of hours. But instead of hiding indoors, Duluthians have embraced winter as a defining feature of their identity. The city hosts the annual John Bear Grease Sled Dog Marathon, a 400-mile race that attracts mushers from around the world and celebrates the region's connection to traditional winter transportation. The Bentleyville Tour of Lights has become a major winter attraction, transforming Bayfront Festival Park into a wonderland of holiday displays that draws hundreds of thousands of visitors each year. Local families make it an annual tradition, bundling up to walk through the displays while sipping hot chocolate and listening to carolers. The event exemplifies Duluth's approach to winter. Instead of enduring it, they celebrate it. Ice fishing culture runs deep in Duluth, with locals setting up elaborate fish houses on the frozen bay that become temporary neighborhoods complete with generators, heaters, and satellite TV. The annual ice fishing tournament brings together commercial fishermen, weekend warriors, and curious tourists, all united by the peculiar pleasure of sitting in a small shelter over a hole in the ice, waiting for northern pike or lake trout to bite. If you're interested in learning more about Duluth's remarkable transformation and these unique winter traditions, check out the QR code that's appearing on your screen right now, or visit the link in the description below for additional resources and historical documents that bring this story to life. Housing in Duluth remains remarkably affordable compared to other cities with similar amenities and quality of life. Historic homes on the hillside offer stunning lake views at prices that would be unimaginable in coastal cities. A beautifully restored Victorian mansion that might cost millions in San Francisco or Boston could be purchased for under $300,000 in Duluth. New construction has focused on sustainable design and energy efficiency, recognizing that harsh winters require thoughtful building practices and that residents are environmentally conscious. The city has also invested in affordable housing initiatives to ensure that longtime residents aren't displaced by gentrification, learning from the mistakes of other cities that have experienced rapid transformation. The arts community has become increasingly important to Duluth's identity and economy. The city supports numerous galleries, studios, and performance spaces. The annual Homegrown Music Festival showcases local talent while attracting visitors from throughout the region. Public art installations throughout the city celebrate both its industrial heritage and natural beauty. Many artists are drawn to Duluth by the affordable studio space and the inspiring natural environment. Technology has played a crucial role in Duluth's economic diversification. High-speed internet infrastructure has enabled remote work opportunities, allowing residents to work for companies anywhere in the world while enjoying small city living. Local tech companies have emerged to serve industries like shipping, healthcare, and renewable energy. The University of Minnesota Duluth has partnered with local businesses to commercialize research and foster entrepreneurship. Tourism has become increasingly important to Duluth's economy, but the city has managed this growth carefully to preserve what makes it special. Visitors come for outdoor recreation, cultural attractions, and a unique experience of a Great Lakes port city. The tourism industry provides jobs while funding infrastructure improvements that benefit residents as well as visitors. Community organizations and civic engagement remain strong in Duluth. Neighborhood associations, environmental groups, and cultural organizations provide opportunities for residents to shape their community's future. The city government has embraced participatory planning processes that ensure diverse voices are heard in decision-making. This tradition of civic engagement stems from the city's working-class roots and immigrant heritage, where collective action was essential for survival and prosperity. The story of modern Duluth wouldn't be complete without mentioning its growing reputation as a destination for outdoor enthusiasts. The Superior Hiking Trail attracts hikers from around the world to experience the rugged beauty of the North Shore. Mountain biking trails in the city and surrounding areas offer challenges for riders of all skill levels. The lake provides opportunities for sailing, kayaking, and fishing, while the surrounding forests offer hunting, cross-country skiing, and snowshoeing. This outdoor recreation economy has created jobs while preserving the natural resources that make Duluth special. Local government has played a crucial role in Duluth's transformation by making strategic investments in infrastructure, supporting small businesses, and maintaining high-quality public services. The city has balanced the need for economic development with environmental protection and historic preservation. Leadership has come from both elected officials and community activists who have worked together to create a shared vision for Duluth's future. As we look toward the future, Duluth faces both opportunities and challenges. Climate change could bring new industries and population growth, but also threatens traditional winter recreation and could strain infrastructure. An aging population requires investment in healthcare and senior services, but it also represents a wealth of experience and knowledge. The city's success in attracting young professionals and families needs to be balanced with supporting longtime residents and preserving affordable housing. What makes Duluth's story so inspiring is how a community refused to accept decline as inevitable. Instead of mourning the loss of heavy industry, residents and leaders focused on the assets that remained: natural beauty, historic architecture, strong institutions, and most importantly, a culture of resilience and mutual support. They understood that a city's greatest resource isn't its factories or natural harbors, but its people and their willingness to work together toward a common vision. Today's Duluth bears little resemblance to the sooty industrial city of the early 1900s, but it maintains the same spirit of innovation and determination that built the original Zenith city. The Matson family would recognize the neighborhoods where they lived and the lake that sustained them, but they would be amazed by how their city has transformed itself while honoring its heritage. The blast furnaces are silent now, but the creative energy that once forged steel now forges art, builds businesses, and continues to attract dreamers and builders to the shores of Lake Superior. Whether you're a student researching American urban development, an investor looking for emerging opportunities, a descendant of Duluth families, or simply someone who loves authentic American stories of transformation and resilience, Duluth represents something precious, a community that refused to give up on itself and discovered that its greatest assets were there all along, waiting to be rediscovered and reimagined for a new century. If you feel that same sense of pride, gratitude, and hope for communities that dare to reinvent themselves, then subscribe to Town Tales right now, smash that like button, and share this story with anyone who believes in the power of American ingenuity and community spirit. Make sure to check out our videos about other Great Lake cities like Superior, Wisconsin, and Grand Rapids, Minnesota, to discover more stories of transformation and resilience in America's heartland. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a story about the places and people that make America extraordinary, because every town has a tale worth telling.